I got a little bit of video here trying to get this Promaster 50 deck project done. In the last video, we left off with taking the rusty bolts off that hold the mower deck spindles off, and we're going to pick up right there in this video. Hope you enjoy. All right, so it's the next morning here. I just ground this one flat here. So I'll take this punch and just hammer out the bolt stud. And I got one down here and one down there to grind off. So I think I'm gonna put this whole deck up here on top of there so it's easier to work on. So I took a little trip over to Tractor Supply and scored some nuts and bolts, but there's kind of a problem. These carriage bolts are 3/8 by 1 1/4 for the spindles. They don't sell 1/4 inch increments at 1 and 1 1/2. So I'm reusing the old ones as much as I don't want to, but I got 3 1 1/2s to replace the 3 trashed ones with, and I'm gonna have to cut them. But let's screw these in and see what we got. All right, with these nylon lock nuts on here, the bolts are pretty much flush to the end of the nuts. So I guess with the new ones, I'll just put the longer bolts in and then zip them off with the cutoff wheel flush with the nuts. But all right, let me see if I can scrounge up some more used nuts from the pile here. All right, well, these are the 1 1/2 inch bolts. They're a little too long. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but it's just more crap that grass clippings can stick to. So I'm gonna put the cutoff disc on and just whack these 3 off level with the nuts. And I think we're gonna end up repainting the bottom of this deck before we put it on. Maybe I'll paint it with the phosphoric acid and get all that crap neutralized. And then we'll put some rusty metal primer on it, I think. All right, I got those 1, 2, 3 cut flush with the cutoff wheel, zipped them off. And now we gotta try to maybe straighten that lip a little bit in the front and mount that carrier to it. Now, when we mount the carrier, there's a bolt there and a bolt there. Those are the 2 bolts that go on that big angle iron frame. So let's take those off first. And then I'm gonna put this thing down on its side and we'll get that carrier mounted and the belt on, and gotta put the pulleys on top of these spindles too. So we gotta take off across the back. We gotta take that axle off, I guess we'll call it. And we gotta go over here and take these 2 angle brackets and mount them on there. And we also gotta take those 2 safety wire brackets and put them on the back. One will go here where the height adjustment lever normally would be, and there's a set of pre-drilled holes on the next one there too. So anyways, that's it. Not so bad. These have never come off. They still got paint on them. They're carriage bolts. When you get to the end, sometimes they kind of slip a little bit. The head comes out, and then it makes it hard to get that last little bit out. That's what happened with this first one. This one has the back in the way, so I can't get the air gun in there. Okay, got one left. gonna flip it up on its side. That way I can hold the carriage bolt in. Oh. She got out of control. There we go. Alright, there's the back. I'm gonna take out this steel here, which is gonna be a wrench job, I guess. Painted on nylon lock nuts that have never come off before. Makes it easy to use a wrench on it. Turds fighting the whole way. And I got one left, and it's right up against the edge here. It's going to be challenging. I may have to grind that one off. Oof. This was not the most brilliant place to put a nut. Can't get the box end on there because it's right against that baffle, and open end just doesn't have the balls. I need something bigger. I'll heat it up with the torch and melt the nylon out. A lot of times that aids this process. This is kind of a trick here, but if you heat it up, you can melt the nylon lock washer out of it. There it goes, it's starting to bubble. Got the smell plastic burning. Making a little cap around the top here. Ooh, it's doing out this time. Alright. Now where did I put that stupid wrench? Where'd it go? Alright, I have the wrench. It was in my pocket the whole time. You know what I mean? Let's see, left-handed, I'm right-handed. There, yeah, that did the trick. That did it. Now, if I can get it out without burning myself on that hot stuff, that would be a plus. You know, I think it's just spinning the whole bracket up here, so I don't have the other bolt in. You know what? Maybe I'll just spin it back. Or not. Ugh. This is not fun. Well, I'll finish this off cam. All right, I got it out. I put an adjustable wrench on the notch, height notch thing there, and then I could hold it. Got it out. Good. Well, I decided I better paint the bottom of the deck here before we put it together. So I'm going to take the angle grinder with the wire wheel cup and just hit it Then we're gonna clean up a little bit, put some phosphoric acid on it. And then we're gonna put some rusty metal primer on it, give it half a chance of having a protective coating and not just be raw metal like the old one was that will disintegrate rather quick on you. All right, just gave it a quick little polish with the wire wheel. And I'm just gonna blow it off. It's not perfect. Again, I spent $10 on this mower deck. The flaws that are obvious are up in the front, down here. In the very front, there's a little crack right here. I'm thinking about welding that really quick. And the back corner's rotting out over here. I'm just gonna leave that for now. But eventually I could weld a patch in there also, but for now I'm just gonna leave it. That front lip, I'd feel better if I just ran a quick little bead on there, 2 inches long, and tried to just patch it up, you know? All right, so I started welding it over here, and it's so thin and rusted that all it does is blow holes through it. So I'm trying to build up a little patch there, but it's a pain in the butt. All right, so I got a big glob on there. It's still hot. Big ugly glob, but it filled the hole. That little crack ended up turning into a hole about 2 inches long and a 1/2 inch wide. So anyways, yeah, that's what happens when you play with rusty metal. I got the grinder out here and ground down that big glob of weld so it's somewhat smooth, so I'm happy with that. All right, just coated the bottom of the mower deck here with the phosphoric acid. And I don't remember, it's been so long since I used this, what the directions are. Let's see. Remove oil, grease, and dirt. Apply product to affected metal full strength with a paintbrush, yep. Rinse and wipe surface with a damp cloth to remove any excess rust residue. All right, that's my next step, I guess. So I gotta wait for it to dry, I think. Let me just see. Apply product to metal. Let's see, work the solution in rusted areas and allow product to dry overnight. All right, guess I gotta let it sit until tomorrow. Cool. Well, it's Labor Day and I just painted over the phosphoric acid with a coat of rusty metal primer. Just slopped it on there. All I wanna do is protect it. I might put either a second coat of this on or a top coat of some kind of paint, but I'm just trying to get it protected. It doesn't have to be pretty, just has to be covered.